What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over the absolute comical crap that's happening, go over some of the data points and what SoFi just came out with. Before we get into any of that though, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi is in the green, slightly 0.47%, 1256 the low, 1328 the high. So you did have a certain level of optimism in the broader market, and so that's one thing that really pushed SoFi higher, and that optimism was because of a China-US deal and how there might be some negotiations starting as early as Saturday. But one thing that caused this downtrend right here was Trump. Trump just stated that he's not open to pulling back 145% or on the 145% tariffs. So the real question is, why even negotiate? It makes absolutely no sense. And in my opinion, this is just straight up manipulation in the broader market. Just absolutely blatant crap. So aside from that, and strategically on a side note, for Trump to hold a press conference 8 minutes before the Feds made their interest rate decision is also very strategic. But as anticipated, the Feds didn't cut any rates. We're just waiting for the press conference coming out in roughly 15 minutes. But nonetheless, though, it was already disclosed that the Feds do see a lot of uncertainty for the foreseeable future because of the tariffs. So even though Trump stated 2 days ago that he's not going to be seeking to fire Powell and that he's going to keep him in chair up until whatever, I think it's 2026, and it'll be very interesting to see. I can almost bet money that Trump is going to flip in the next little bit and just say, hey, we need him fired. He needs to cut rates. He's the reason why the market's going down. It's very comical. And so yeah, we'll have to wait and see what comes out. But a couple of things did come out from SoFi. One was at 8 a.m. SoFi to participate in an upcoming investor conference. May 14th, that is going to be with JP Morgan Global Tech, Media and Communications Conference with head honcho himself, Anthony Noto. Historically, that always does result in somewhat of a green day, so definitely something to keep in mind. SoFi also did put out this news at 10 a.m., so this is what gave it that nice secondary push higher, and that was this. So SoFi and Capitalize expand long-standing partnership to simplify 401k transfers. So it's able to pretty much search and locate kind of lost 401ks, and then you can kind of just move them over to SoFi. So makes things easy. It's good for member retention for the most part. And based on this, somewhat old data, but it does show as of May 2023, it's estimated that there's about 29.2 million in forgotten 401ks. I don't know how someone could forget that, but nonetheless, I think that could definitely help SoFi and again, member retention and many other things like that. So let me know your viewpoint on those two PRs in the comments below. Aside from that, shorts are returning about 8,000 shares, so not really doing too much today. 13.67% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 148.33 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow minimum, as per usual, is negative, so most likely shorts, everyone and their dog. It's just waiting for Powell to see what he's going to say. But 7.87 million in calls, 2.79 in puts, 47% of all the options being done today are optimistic in nature. So definitely that does stand out. A lot of other stocks are very bearish today. Even despite the kind of bump up that happened first thing. Today, so far, sitting at 10.7. Most likely it's going to settle around that 12 to 13. Yesterday, 10.1, 17.4, and then 20. So it is going down slightly, but still it shows that institutions are paying attention to SoFi still, both through common stock and as well through options. Based on the bulls, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 13.50 to 14. Bears for it to be sub 12. So a little bit more upside is anticipated based on everything. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market. So you had kind of a string of selling, string of buying, not really much going on there. Dark pool, very popular as per usual. So this one is used by large entities, and I think they are what is really moving SoFi behind the scenes. So a lot of big transactions. as you can kind of see. But with it right now at 1284, trading between this R1 and the pivot, so 1187 is going to be a strong support, and then 1413 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So it's kind of just stuck in between both of those. Today, no new analyst ratings, as you can kind of see right here, at least last time I checked. So last one was done 7 days ago, so all linked to their earnings. So still interesting to see that we haven't received good handful of ratings, so maybe they're just waiting for the optimum time. But aside from that, it's just wedge bound between that 50 and 100-day moving average. And I did state that what happens today is going to be that deciding point to if it's either going to break higher or lower. So this week's going to be that big week for it, but 1389 is going to be the next strong kind of point to watch for. So that's at 100. Then the 50-day moving average is $12.12. So yeah, it's just a good time for options. So right now it's just kind of wedge bound between these points. SoFi does really want to move higher, and that's apparent based on just the price action over the last several trading days. Just the market hasn't really just complied. So eventually SoFi is going to have its breakout opportunity, and then that's where it'll just be trading between that $13 and $17 range, the happy price point that it likes. So all in all, it's a good time to potentially average down or just do options, whatever floats your boat. Like I said, I think it's going to be wedge bound between these 2 points. And for those of you that know options, whenever it's kind of just trading flat, but yet is very volatile, that's how you can get some pretty good money through premiums. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.